What's up, strongest men, women, and children from blocks all around the world? I am my block's strongest man. And today, the finals for World's Strongest Man 2021 have begun, and Event 1, the Giants Medley, is complete, and we have some results that we want to go through together. So before we get started on that, I'd like to mention that we are brought to you today by Garage Gym Life Media. Let's have a listen at why they stream what they stream and what they're doing for the Garage Gym Life culture.
A home gym, especially if you're training by yourself, can be tough because sometimes you just don't have the motivation to go in your garage or your basement and get it done. And that's why we stream competitions every month on the Garage Gym Life Media YouTube channel. I'm John Greaves, the third founder of Garage Gym Life Media, and after 20 years of training in a home gym, I can tell you that there's some days when I just don't feel like training. And those are the days when I put on some sort of training video or other strength-related content to give me the extra motivation I need to get in there and get it done. There is nothing more motivating than seeing people achieving their goals at a powerlifting meet or a strongman competition. And that's why month after month, we provide that content to you right there in the comfort of your own home on our YouTube channel. Plus, we leave it up forever so you can always just throw it on in the background anytime you need that extra dose of motivation to get you going. And that's why, if you're not already a subscriber to Garage Gym Life Media, I invite you to take advantage of this opportunity to add this powerful training tool into your arsenal, because I want you to succeed right there in the best gym in town.
All right, well, thanks, John, from Garage Gym Life Media. If you haven't subscribed over there yet, please go do so. You'll get tons of great value out of that channel. So thanks again for sponsoring this content today, this live stream. So I wanted to come on and talk about the late breaking news today of what has happened in the Giants Medley, the first event of the World's Strongest Man 2021 finals. So let's quickly take a look at those results, and then I'll join you again later. I believe the next event is starting in about 45 minutes. So let's kind of have a quick look through this one, and then we'll discuss the other one a little later after that happens. All right, so these are your results. Tom Stoltman ends up with 10 points, winning the Giants Medley in a blazing 18.36 seconds. Konstantin Janasha comes in second at 20.31. He gets his 9 points. Brian Shaw in third place with 8 points. So some folks thought his transitions might not be fast enough. Brian did very well here, but kind of the other person who most people think is the favorite this year, Tom Stoltman, did beat him out by 2 points here. Then we have Luke Stoltman, just a little bit behind his brother, coming in with 7 points at 20.72. And then we have JF Caron with 6 points at 21.31. So all those guys, except maybe Tom, very close to each other in time. Tom kind of separated himself by quite a bit there. And then we go to Adam Bishop, who earned 5 points at 22.39 seconds. Bobby Thompson, 4 points at 25.06. Maxime Boudreau, 3 points with 31.43 seconds. And Trey Mitchell with 2 points at 45.61. Aethor Ingolson Melstead, the only one to not complete the event. And so he ends up with 1 point. He did not finish. So those are the results after the Giants Medley, which again is event 1 of World's Strongest Man 2021 finals. This is your late breaking news of today. And we look forward to about 45 minutes from now, which is when the Titans Turntable is estimated to be starting. So we'll get back on at that point. And then Hasan, thanks for coming back, buddy. Brian Shaw smashed it. Yes, he did indeed. Keeping himself relevant there. I mean, you have things like Keg Toss, where he's almost guaranteed to win, and Atlas Stones, where he's almost guaranteed to beat everybody but Tom. So to do this well in the Giants Medley that had a little bit more dynamics going on with it, I think puts himself in a really awesome position. But let's not talk too much about Brian and not about Tom. Tom won this event, and I don't know that he's fast and everything, but I don't know that a lot of people picked him to actually win the event. Many people picked him to do really well, but Tom is really positioning himself incredibly here, and we'll see what happens on the upcoming events. The Titans Turntable is going to be really interesting to watch as well. Some folks have said that, you know, it's more for speed now, so, you know, it doesn't look as heavy as we may have thought it was, and it's more for how fast you can finish a particular distance, so it may favor some kind of more explosive guys like Maxime, but some people thought Maxime would do better in this medley than he did as well, so who knows? Like, things are going wacky this year in World's Strongest Man. Very hard to predict, so we kind of just have to embrace the chaos, I think, and just enjoy everything that we're seeing. Another thing I wanted to shout out, if you haven't watched Big Laz Official, Laz and Liz's treatment of these activities, they did a pre-events beginning video, and then they did one like I'm doing now after the event is over. Packed full of information, great videos. You should go check them out as well, which I'm sure you have. They're, the top of the industry in terms of this type of content, so I'm sure you've been there already. But if you haven't, check out Big Laz Official. It's got a new banner and a new profile pic too, so it's looking pretty cool. I like it over there. Antoine Pitt says Janasha is looking very strong. He is. He was a bit of a wild card, so folks still kind of on the fence in terms of the injury and how he would be doing in terms of that injury. And he was interviewed. I don't know if it was by Martins. I'm trying to remember, but I saw an interview with Janasha where the interviewer said, I could see that you were hesitating on that dumbbell press on the overhead medley in the qualifiers. And so it seems like there is still like a little bit of hesitation, but we'll see if that manifests itself in the max log lift or in any of these other activities. What's up, WX Central? Thanks for dropping by again. Always coming by and giving me great support. I have appreciated that for many, many months. You've been here since almost since the beginning. So thanks again for coming by. Hasan says Brian and Luke dropped the frame. Interesting. So Brian dropped the frame and still got 8 points out of it. Huh. So I wonder, Brian was only 2.15 seconds or so behind Tom. Did he drop it for that long? Like, would he have won? That's a good thing to ponder, I think. Hasan says JF has a hamstring minor tear. No. So that I always try to do my predictions based on the mathematics and what I actually think will happen. Big Laz is the same way, right? He has his favorites, but then he does his predictions based on what he thinks will happen, and also Liz, and that's what I also try to do. But who I want to win, I want JF to win. So this is bad news for me. It's very sorry to hear that. He's a really, really nice guy. Was super welcoming to me when we had our interview and very friendly. So I'm sorry to hear that he's having an injury. So Antoine says Max is struggling with yoke. It cost him a lot of points. Yeah, I mean, he was working on yoke, but I think he was in months prior to this, but he was working more on stone. So I think, maybe he makes that one his priority for next year. We'll see. WX Central says Brian should smash the turntable, as in his training, he was pushing his forward F150 uphill for a full minute straight every week. Yeah, did you see the one where he and Evan Singleton were pushing the pickup? They were both doing it. So Brian kind of was showing Evan like, hey, here's what I'm doing. You try it. And Steve Foshin, who's actually trains quite a bit with Brian to get him ready for Worlds. He's been on my channel. Super nice guy. If you haven't been on his Instagram to vote him in, there's a contest where Steve is trying to get into men's health. So there's a survey or whatnot where you can vote him in. You should definitely go do that. But I think Steve was driving the pickup and I kept seeing the brake lights come on. And that makes sense, right? Because the truck by itself doesn't weigh enough for those guys to be pushing it when you compare it to them pushing a 25-ton train or whatever it was. So I get why he was hitting the brakes, but it was kind of funny. Like, hey, man, stop making it hard for these guys. WX says that pushing the truck up the hill. This is second part of what you were saying. Okay, so I think he could dominate. I agree. I think, didn't I pick Brian for... I won't share back and forth. It's too hard to kind of switch what I'm sharing, but I promise I'll read you the right thing. So, yeah, I had Brian predicted to win Titans Turntable. I have Brian, Trey, then Athor, then Tom. So that's kind of that's where I have the Titans Turntable. We'll see. I've been really good on some of these picks and really horrible on some, and some of it is just because unpredictable things have happened. What can you do? When does Turntable start? So there are times I don't know if you can see this large enough on my screen here. I'll make it a little bigger. So on the bottom here, it says that it's starting 12:43 local time. So Eloi Fournier, who puts all these spreadsheets together, and I have to keep shouting him out because he's doing such an incredible job keeping us up to speed on these results. He has that timing there. So I don't know if that means he's there on site and has knowledge of when it's starting. So that would be for me in the East Coast 3:43, which it's 3:12 right now. So about a half an hour from now is what I expect. And not sure how long it would take for everybody to get through, but to answer your question, it seems like about a half an hour from now it should be starting. Kel Aarons, do you think Brian wins the turntable? I do. I have Brian picked to win the turntable. The Rafa Hasan. That's why I did that. Okay, so you guys are having your discussion back and forth with each other. Turntable starts in about 45 minutes. Yep. What's your favorite event in the final? Turntable, I think. Let me look through them all. Keg toss for height would be kind of cool because we've seen it for speed a lot. I would love to see it for height, but Titan's turntable is just so unique. I would say that's my favorite. What does everybody else in the comments think? And by the way, I want to make this really brief. I'm going to jump back off so we can come back later. But let's see. Luke was beating Tom on frame, but then he dropped it. So Darrow Riley says, on the Stoltman vid, they were pulling their truck but changed it to pushing. Okay, interesting. All right, guys. Well, thanks for jumping on real quick. I'm going to hop off so we can go find out some more about the next events, but we'll see you a little later tonight. And, of course, as always, ciao, homie.